Good day everyone. Today, let's talk about the introduction to accounting information system. Question number 1. Contrast the responsibilities of operations management, middle management, and top management. Explain the difference information needs for each level of management. So operations management is directly responsible for controlling day-to-day operations. Operations managers require detailed information on individual transactions such as sales, shipment of goods, usage of labor and materials in the production process, and internal transfer of resources from one department to another. Budgeting information and instruction flows downward from top and middle management to operations management. Middle managers perform short-term planning and coordination of activities necessary to accomplish organizational objectives. Middle management requires information that is more summarized and oriented toward reporting an overall performance and problems rather than routine operations. Top management is responsible for longer-term planning, and setting organizational objectives. Information provided to top management is highly summarized. Question number 2. Explain the difference between data and information. Data are facts which may or may not be processed. Data have no particular impact on the user. Information is processed data that causes the user to take action. Why do accountants need to understand the organizational structure of the business? The structure of an organization reflects the distribution of responsibility, authority, and accountability throughout the organization. Accountants need to understand this distribution pattern in order to assess the information needs of users and to design the accounting information system to meet those needs. Several disadvantages of distributed data processing have been discussed. First, distributing the control of information resources can lead to mismanagement of organizational resources. Hardware and software incompatibility can result. Distribution of responsibility can result in many users performing redundant tasks. Individual users' control can lead to internal control concerns when users perform incompatible duties. Small organization units may have difficulty hiring qualified IT professionals. Distribution of decision-making can result in a lack of standards. Name and explain the purpose of the three major subsystems of accounting information system. First, we have transaction processing system, on which it records the financial transaction of the firm. Second, we have general ledger system and financial reporting system, on which it produces the financial statements and required by law. Third, we have management reporting system, on which it provides information to internal management for decision making. What are the three primary functions performed by the transaction processing system? Converting economic events into financial transaction, recording financial transaction in the accounting records such as journals and ledgers, and distributing essentials, financial information to operations personnel to support daily operations. The most commonly stated benefit of DDP are cost savings, increased user satisfaction, and improved operational efficiency. The cost of both processing and data storage have declined significantly in the time since early automation. In addition, data entry can be distributed and application complexity reduced. Users are typically more satisfied when they can control the resources that affect their profitability. Also, users want system people who will respond to their needs and involve them in development and implementation of their own system. Delegation of cost control to individual units leads to more efficient users of unit resources. Data redundancy is described as a problem in flat file system due to data storage, updating, and currency issues. Data that is stored 10 different times takes up 10 times the storage space of data stored once. If data is stored in multiple files, each file must be updated when a charge occurs. If the issue of updates is mismanaged in a flat file environment, some data may be unchanged, therefore be non-current and lead to incorrect decisions. Explain the element of the REA model and give an example of each. Economic resources are the assets of the organization. They are objects that are scarce and under the control of the organizations. They do not include accounts receivable. An example is inventory. Economic events are actions that affect changes in resources. An example is a sale to customer. Economic agents are individual and business units that participate in economic events. An example of this is a sales clerk. Distinguish between the accounting information system and the management information system. The accounting information system processes financial and non-financial transactions that directly affect the processing of the financial transaction. These are handled by the three major subsystems: transaction processing, general ledger financial reporting, and management reporting. The management information system processes additional non-financial transactions that contribute to the decision-making of managers. Why have re-engineering efforts been made to integrate accounting information system and management information system? Managers of all areas typically need data from both the accounting information system and the management information system. If the data needed by managers for decision-making processes are located into two or more data sets, the preparation of reports is both inefficient and expensive. Further, a lack of coordination between the two data sets can result in data that is not consistent and unreliable. Why is it important to organizationally separate the accounting function from other functions of the organizations? The accounting function provides record keeping for all the operations day-to-day activities of other departments, which affects the financial position of the organization. Record-keeping tasks must be kept separate from any area that has custody over assets. Thus, the accounting function must remain independent so that the protection of the firm's asset is carried out in an environment with minimum possibilities for theft. The REA model is based on the premise that business data must not be performated or artificially constrained and must reflect all relevant aspects of the underlying economic events. What does this mean and how is it applied? The REA model requires the accounting phenomena be characterized in a manner consistent with the development of multiple users' views, not simply those of the accounting function. As such, REA procedures and databases are structured around events rather than accounting artifacts such as journals, ledgers, chart of accounts, and double entry accounting. Under the REA model, business organizations prepare financial statements directly from the event database. ERP systems are comprised of a highly integrated set of standardized modules. discuss the advantages and potential disadvantages of this approach. For the advantages of ERP, or Enterprise Resourcing Planning, a system enables organization to automate and integrate key business processes. ERPs break down traditional functional barriers by facilitating data sharing. ERP software embodies and supports the best business practices of a given industry, thus encouraging positive changes in the way firms do businesses. Organization experience internal efficiencies by employing standard business practices among all organizational units. The disadvantage of ERP. The implementation of an ERP system can be a massive undertaking that can span several years. Because of their complexity and size, few organizations are willing or able to commit the necessary financial resources and incur the risk of developing an ERP system in the house. Hence, virtually all ERPs are commercial products designed to solve standardized business problems. Many organizations have unique needs that require customized systems. Organizations that implement an ERP often need to modify their business process to suit unique business functions, particularly in industry-specific tasks. These applications, often called bolt-ons, are not always designed to communicate with ERP packages. ERP packages are commonly enormously expensive. Organization management should exercise great care in deciding which, if any, ERP is best for them. Distinguish between the centralized and distributed approaches to the organization Distinguish between the centralized and distributed approaches to organizing the computer services function. In a centralized data processing approach, the computer services function is centrally located. The database are housed in one place where all of the data processing occurs by one or more main computers. All system development and maintenance work for the entire organization is performed by system professionals. End users wishing to have new system or features must submit a formal request to this group and are usually prioritized and placed in a queue. In distributed data processing approach, the CPUs are spanned out and control over data and processing is at the information processing unit or the IPU level. Thus, end users have more influence over the system development project, which are typically handled by system professional at the IPU. So that would be all for the introduction of accounting information system.